So as we came here in 2003, and we had just 25 acres of land near the road, and later on we acquired all these things. And then as we were here, we uh, initial stage studied what's like scene of agriculture over here, and we found out like there are typical issues that are there, which is actually all over India, and to a certain extent all the world, the situation is the same. So India, if you see, do you know how much is the average land holding the farmer has? Any idea? Average land holding for a farmer in India. Any guess?
It is around so 1 to 2 bigha. Not acres, bigha. Average.
It's a 1 hectare, that is 2.5 acres. 2.5 acres is like the average land holding, and here it's a tribal belt, so where they have even less land, and some of the land is slopey land, and some of the land which is they're cultivating in the forest department land, but they don't own that. They're allowed to use it, but they can't own that land. So this is the situation, and then as you know, Indian agriculture is much discussed in the all news medias and all that. Many times, like it becomes very hot political debates and all that. And then agriculture, like so, few commodities prices have capacity to like bring down even the governments. So, what are like typical situation that agriculture faces? Some of you may be aware, like what's a typical scene in agriculture? First is like less production, that's a low productivity, that's true. Then market prices are not good. Then somebody said about climatic conditions, water. Water means most of the agriculture in India still remains like rainfed agriculture. That means in rainy season they will take crops, and afterwards then they have to go out. So like rope resources, less water, less land holdings, and they don't have like innovative agriculture practices. So all those things will automatically result into what? Distress migration. That means they will do agriculture only in the rainy season, and after that they will not be able to cultivate the land for the winter and the summer season. So they have no work, no income in the village, so they are forced to work as a laborer somewhere else on the construction sites or bricks making units or some other jobs they have to take it. That means basically they move out of their villages. So these are the issues that we have seen. If you want to find a solution, then we have to see that he gets the income all throughout the year from the agricultural land he has. Because what happens is when this person who is a skilled farmer comes to the urban area, he becomes an unskilled person, and becomes very difficult for him to earn anything in the city. And he can't afford that standard of living that city has. And nor does like we have that much employment available there in the industrial areas. So what's the solution is like that we make agriculture economically viable for them. Then they will stay in the village and they will get enough income, and then you can do something for their children's education, something for their health and other things can happen. Otherwise he is a mobile, then very difficult to provide other facilities to them. So there are like some NGOs who are working in the agriculture, and then we found out that there is a bias, like they started in 1981 in Gujarat, the Wadi model, which is like tree-based model. That means usually you just make a intelligent use of the land that you have. Say suppose this much square land a farmer has, So it should be divided in such a way that some land is under long-term cultivation, some land is in middle-term cultivation, and some land in a short-term cultivations. So what does come in the long-term cultivation is like big trees, whatever, like mangoes, cashews, sapota, all these trees. Once they grow up, without much of efforts, once a year they will give you good returns. Then as far as middle term is concerned, it's a jasmine, that's floriculture, because Bombay is very close. You get a good price throughout the year for the jasmine. So like jasmine is there, papaya is there, kela is there. These are like comes in the middle terms. And the vegetables and the medicinal varieties of rice and other things will come in the short terms. So if you just plant this way, your plot of land, then there are like income comes from a different verticals. And this is like biodiversity principle. And if you see agriculture before green revolution, it was like this. It was like varieties of crops that were there, and that's why the risk was less. So this is the way like we started advising the farmers, like if you can plant your plot of land in this way, and whatever things they were required for the irrigation facilities and planting material, like good quality of mango saplings and all other fruit tree samplings. At the same time, organic farming techniques were taught to them about everything, and that's how like they began. And there are many successful stories that are there on this, and how farmers' condition improved. So there was one farmer over here, just a very close near to Hamrapur. So he had almost like 2.5 acres of land, and he was working in a factory, and only in rainy season he would do agriculture, and the income from the rice was 8,800 per year, and then the rest of time he would work in factory. So we told him like if you follow this model, and he was a very good person, so he started implementing as per our advice. And then within at the, like our project is usually project completion is a 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, we prepare a report and see what is his situation, and then afterwards, then he has to be on his own. It's not that like continuously depends on us. So end of the 5 years, what situation that we found was like he was earning almost 2,20,000 rupees per year from his agriculture. So he was getting income from rice, then pulses, then floriculture, then this thing vermicompost he was selling. So this is how, and floriculture, jasmine also he was getting some income. So like that, with 7-8 different verticals, you get an income, and that's how like he could earn properly. And similarly, now his children also are interested in agriculture. You hardly find like the next generation wants to be in agriculture. Everybody wants to move away from that, because we listed like what are many issues that are there in agriculture, and because of that, it's not economically viable. So they prefer like at least they will get some job and surety of income will be there. But the thing is, agriculture is such a industry which will never go off the demand, because as long as human beings are there, they will need minimum 3 times sufficient food to eat, and if it is healthy and nutritious, and much better. So that demand is not going to come down. Only thing is the supply has to be proper. So this is one model by which we were helping the farmers so that they can stay on the land and get the income throughout the year and varieties. And then there was another program we started that is called Seed for Life program, that is a promotion and the cultivation of indigenous seeds. Now you can do one this thing sort of a experiment, you can say. Like say if you see like if you talk to your grandparents or those who are like in that age group, and you can ask them when they were children, how many in their plate, what was the variety available. different type of vegetables, different types of grains and millets, and so let us see how much they have. Then you can find out from what is your parents, how many different varieties you are eating it, and then you can see what is there in your plate now. So we gave this experiment to be done for our school children. You find out, study these things. So their reply was grandfather, they had at least 70 to 90 varieties, and then the parents, it came down to almost 40 to 50 varieties, and now they have even half of that, almost around 20. Because if you see the consumption pattern all throughout the world, you will find rice, wheat, and corn. The three mains that are there. Whereas traditionally our thing was varieties of vegetables were there. Here we do a forest wild vegetable festival in rainy season. In rainy season we get 20 of the wild vegetables, which those who stay in the city, they don't even know the names, they don't know how to cook them, and the taste as well. Because it's a very highly nutritious thing is there, and then we have competition for the tribal women about the different recipes like that. Maybe you can visit sometime so that you can understand and then we have BIFS published a book also what are different varieties, how do they look like, what are the medicinal properties they have, what's a recipe, how to cook it, because you must know how to cook it also properly, and then how you can conserve them so that this tradition remains. So like that, India also had plenty of varieties of rice and millets. So can you some of you may be knowing how many varieties of rice once upon a time India had? Any guess?
More than 200 types I think.
200, yes. Anything? Any other?
More than 2,000.
Yes, that's good. Still you need to go way up. और कोई है? देखो आपने डॉक्टर वंदना शिवा का नाम सुना होगा, हाँ? So she is working in the ecology and all this conservation of seeds and all that. In her book, she has noted that India had over 2 lakh varieties of rice. In 1970, India had 1 lakh 10,000 varieties of rice, and now it has come down to 6,000.
तो zero गुल हो गया था.
So there is आप लोग फिर say those who are from Punjab, you know rajma.
Yeah.
So there is one farmer with 175 varieties of rajma. So that is our tradition was with rice. We have so many festivals with connected with the rice and all that. It's very auspicious. There is one South Indian temple. They used to offer one variety every day. That means minimum there are 365 varieties. So that's how the whole system was. There is one farmer I know in Konkan. He has 75 varieties of jackfruit trees. And then there is one farmer in Karnataka. He has about 50 acres of mango orchards, and he has almost 60 to 70 varieties of mangoes at one place. So this was a rich variety that was there, and slowly because of green revolution, it's coming down. India is worried about brain drain, right? Brain drain means educated people go out, and India doesn't. Well, what about the grain drain that we have? So much of drain has happened, and because of people thought we will make more income and by just increasing the productivity. But what happened is the scientists just focused on the productivity, they didn't focus on the nutrition value and the taste. So both these two are missing in this high yielding varieties. So this is what all the time it was per acre or per hectare productivity was discuss. But now, especially after Corona season, we have to find out like no per plate how much nutritions that we're getting it. That's more important than like no how much quantity that we are eating it. And then I always saw like no nature made such a uh, huge varieties, and it's like rice is concerned like no, varieties of rice is there like no from there is one particular variety of rice which will come for harvesting within 70 days. That means if your stock of rice gets over, you plant that and within 70 days you will have like no, fresh rice to eat. And there is another variety which will take almost 180 days. That's like no, highly nutritious, and a lot of rice was like no, medicinal properties. If you Google it, in Dr. Deval Dev, he's a rice scientist, and then he has alone conserved over 400 varieties of rice, and he has done some nutritional profile of some of the rice. Then he but different varieties like you know, if you have a like if you fracture your bones, then to heal one particular variety is there. For the children's brain development, another variety is there. The food for fever, for heart diseases. So previously the food was medicine, and now it's a different thing. Like recently I was in Navsari, and Navsari in Gujarat, and the chairman of L&T, Anil Nair, he was there. He was the main chief guest there, and then he was saying like no, he has opened 1,000 bedded cancer hospital dedicated to our granddaughter's name because granddaughter died because of cancer, and it's like no very advanced hospital. The facilities are at par with the US and other countries. Prime Minister Modi opened that hospital. But that means like me, you can understand like you are opening so many cancer hospitals like this. That means the people are becoming diseased. So in one sense, it's a good. He has made such a wonderful facilities. But another thing, it's so sad to see that so many people are like affected by like you take whether it's a scientist, the politicians, or even simple people also. Or there are people. The study was done like no, it's not like you are alcoholic or you have some bad habits and because of that you are getting it. Very nice like no, even vegetarian uh, people at the same time like no, having no drinking, smoking or any bad habits, they also got it. That means the food is affected because of that. So we wanted to see do something so that we can preserve these seeds and prove that like no, they are nutritious as well as it's also very tasty. And then when you have this kind of a varieties, the risk is very less. It's just like there is one variety of rice which can come in the salty water also. Because in some coastal areas the cyclone comes and the seawater comes inside. Even if it is a salty water, still some varieties of rice will come. Even flooded water also. The floods, 1 meter of flood stays for 1 month. Still one variety of rice will come. So like that, nature made such a wonderful arrangement for this thing. Like here, so we have like this Sit for Life program. So it's divided, executed in this way. Like we have a demonstration plot where we can display the varieties of life. So jump plaza can be displayed. Then seed plots. Some farmers will be trained how to grow the seeds, so the purity of the seeds will be maintained. And then grain plot means so one particular variety will be produced on a large scale basis. So these are 3 ways we do it. So the demo plot where like in there's one village called Chinspad in Vikramgad Taluka, where at one place we planted 106 varieties of rice, and that plot of land there was 1 week was a heavy rain was there. So 1.5 days the plot of land was submerged in a heavy rain, and the water was also flowing from that. And after that heavy spell of rain was over, again all our varieties came back. And if you see, I don't have video to show now. Here there is no facility. We chose a natural setting to discuss, but otherwise I can show that video to all of you. And you can say the neighboring plots, hybrid varieties, they all that rice became yellow and couldn't withstand this. So nature has now a lot of people are doing this thing rice should have more vitamin A. So the golden varieties of rice, the GM golden rice, they have coined it. You must have heard, and we are spending billions of dollars for to invent it. But this Devil Dev has already some varieties of rice which has got a lot of vitamin A is there. And if you don't get in vitamin A from rice, then you have different vegetables like amaranthus and other things you grow and your vitamin requirement can be fulfilled from that. It's not you go after these things, spending so much of money and time into one variety of rice and with trying to make it as a monocropping. Because monocropping, the problem that happens is once the pest comes, then it's very difficult to control, and then the prices. There is now there is a lot of discussion about onion. I think onion prices are down. So like that, sometimes tomato prices are down, and sometimes cabbage is available for 2 rupees. So this is what happens because of the monocropping. First the pest attack. Once the pest comes, it's very difficult to control it. At the same time, the prices also go down. So better always keep variety, because you see in nature there is always a variety, and the best way is to mimic the nature rather than trying to invent and keep on experimenting things. So this was our Seed for Life program, which 1,000 farmers are in this. So how this program has to go is so the farmers know the demo plots are there, then the farmers come and see the different varieties, and then they will choose whichever variety they like it. Some farmers will be trained as a seed farmers, and some will grow one variety. But it's every village will have different varieties. It's not Indrayani or some variety which is popular and then you just go on planting it. Right? Because as you keep variety in your plate, that much your health will be good. So this is the thing, and then how we make value-added products. So we have millet festival or rice millet festivals where we put the exhibition of different varieties of rice, different varieties of millets, and then we have the information about it, and we call some experts those who talk about how the millets are important for the farmer's point of view, how the things like this um, uh, how the health benefits that are there, and then how to cook it. Because nowadays people who stay in the city, they like a ready mix, so immediate they should be able to do it. So this is this kind of festivals we did in JV, Chowpatty, Bombay, and recently we did it in Pune also. So this is the way people first understand the variety that is available, then they can buy it, they can understand its importance, and then especially how to cook it in different recipes. So this is the way and then this year is is International Year of Millets. The thing is the millets most of the millets can come on the slopy lands also. If you go to Jawar, Mokhada, there are hilly regions, and usually this slopy lands remains uncultivated. But the tribal people can grow on this land all their little millets and then finger millets and many other crops. And there is one Rodel Institute in US. Since 1981, they have kept the field trials, and so that's organic farming, no tilling farming, then GM, chemical farming, so different varieties of this thing. Rodel Institute करके पेंसिल्वेनिया में है वो. And after this many years of study, their conclusions are very clear. Organic farming is the only profitable once in long run. Because in organic you may get profit, but eventually if you see the 10 years of balance sheet, you will find that it's not profitable. At the same time, your land also becomes more and more fertile in organic farming. And then when the droughts or any climate disaster come, only organic farming can survive. Usually, what happens is most of the time this research is funded by the multinational companies, and the real picture doesn't come. Like one-sided picture usually comes. So this institute has published a very detailed report, which you all can study and understand what's it from energy impact and so many other things like water, land, profitability, economy, ecology. From all this as technical things I've explained nicely. Because I'm not science background, so I won't be in a position to explain that in a proper way. But if you study, that is now you will get a real picture that what exactly has to be done for economy. Because if a country has to be prosperous, then the small farmers has to be prosperous. Then only country's GDP will increase and eventually country will prosper. And then the country which is dependent on its seed for foreign countries is actually not independent country, it's a dependent country. So that's this, the farmer should be souvenir in this uh, independent as far as the seed supply is concerned. So this is we have thing in such a way where how farmers can get income throughout the year from the land. At the same time, indigenous seeds, if they preserve, they're much more advantage that they have. And then the most of the uh, pesticide are sprayed on the vegetables. So when you eat vegetables or certain fruits like mango and all that, now the mango season is approaching. And if you go and see in Ratnagiri how the mangoes are being cultivated, first is the mango flowering is very fickle. It's a very delicate, and not all variety. Every year the flowering will come. So usually the hormones are injected so that the flowering will come, and then you have to spray so that the flowering will stay, and then the fruits will come. So you have to protect fruits from the different fruit flies and different diseases and all that. So you keep on spraying that, and after that you pluck the mango, and then it's previously the mangoes used to put it in the grass, and then naturally it will ripen. But now you put a chemical into that, and then so that immediately the mangoes the green mango will become yellow mango, but the taste will not be the same. Like I still remember in our childhood, whenever we used to get mangoes from Konkan, like if my house gets it, the whole building will get smell of the mangoes. I hardly see that kind of smell nowadays. It's coming because all you have hormones, you have pesticides, and then you are ripening agents. So we have to think, we have to be very cautious because our S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who founded this ISKCON society, he always used to say, grow your own food. I never realized what does that mean. When I studied the food adulteration and synthetic food and these kinds of things, that's how we are promoting kind of a family farmer concept as we have a family doctor. If you know from where your food is coming, then there is a less chance of food alterations. And then it's plenty of advantages are there. You can understand what are the conditions the farmer goes, and at least we should pay for the cost of production of the farmer, not what's under demand and supply. Like see 2 rupees kg like cabbage comes, then what we do, those people who have goshalas, we go and get a truckload of cabbage and feed it to the cows because it's cheaper than grass. So, but then what's the status of a farmer? Like he also has a family, he also has financial needs, and then all kinds of social issues comes up if you are not sensitive. And then if you have a tie-up with the farm, many people have lost the roots with the farm. Like how many of you have your own land in the village or you visit in the area? So You can see like not even a half of it. You have land. So
Yes, we can this.
So what happens is like we have a family farmer concept, then you can visit the family, your family. The city people can visit, stay at the farmer's family, experience the farm life. So the children will get a different perspective. Like they will understand, like the children understand what it takes to grow a food. So naturally, then they will not waste as much of a food. And this kind of a bonding will actually make like you will get a safe food. Like so much milk requirement is there, and how does like milk comes? Like there are like reports which says like it comes in synthetic milk comes in the like lakhs of liters in the big cities, and then some Diwali you suddenly have so much of like paneer and then mawa and so many sweets. This cow suddenly can't give like because of Diwali. So 10 liters I will give 20 liters. It doesn't happen like that. So we should be very careful about these things. The food should be medicine. So in this is like actually the full choice that you will make city people can make organic farmers economically viable. It will be good for environment, good for the ecology. So this is like you have to be a conscious customer. If you choose to buy from organic farming, and that much of like you can be a protector of environment, you can protect the ecology, and the only way farmer can make good money is by like turning into organic farming, and then you can also save you a lot of money which you eventually spend on medical expenses and others. So like we always make appeal to the people who come here, like the city people become conscious customers, and if you take little efforts to know from where your food is coming and buying it consciously from a particular this thing, even if it is meant for little higher cost, but it will make such a big difference in protecting the economy of the country, protecting the environment of the company, ecology of the company, and the health of the farmers as well as the city customers. So one conscious decision can make such a great difference. So this is like the use as far as the so what I was explaining that contract farming we are doing for the vegetables. So the far like 10 guntas of vegetable if a farmer does it organic way, then we give the seeds and after and all the biopesticides that we give it to him. So our person goes and sees the crop conditions and accordingly we will give him all the solutions and we give him a guidance like what kind of organic fertilizers he can put, and then we buy it at a fixed rate from them, and that's how like we are doing contract farming as far as vegetable is concerned, so that we can get toxic free food from the for our plate. So that's like initiative. So these are the three main major initiatives. Apart from that, like providing lots of agriculture inputs and how you can make locally different organic inputs for the agriculture. This is what the agriculture side is concerned. So if you have any questions or any comments to make.
Where does the water which farmers use for irrigation they get from? Like a river body or lake or like.
So different places is like mainly first from rain, then it's a river, then small ponds or big ponds or small streams or the wells. These are the so different areas, different facilities available.
Because water is quite important for irrigation of farming. Like in some parts of Noida, Gurgaon, they are using the water using drains, flowing in drains, like which are discharged from the industry, and they're directly putting the pump in that in that drain and irrigating crops from that thing. So the heavy metals are present in the fruits and vegetables which are getting in the houses on the plates. So there is higher metal concentration, heavy metal concentration in the food, and it is also shown in like Surat and Ahmedabad. Surat and Ankleshwar around the industrial cities. So this is a primary concern for like buying the vegetables because people are using that type of water for irrigation. So,
Yeah. What poor farmer can do? Whatever is available, he will use. No? The first is we have to put restrictions on industries, like no, they whatever discharge they have, it's like no, can be reused for the agriculture purposes. We have SBT over here, side technology, developed by IIT Viplov Patnaik. So that like no, all our bathing water as well as all water can be recycled. So those kinds of recycling plants has to be established. And then these issues. Yes.
जी आपने बोला है कि जो ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग है उसको प्रॉफिटेबल होने के लिए लार्ज टाइम लगता है, मतलब 5 years और 10 years।
ये स्टेटमेंट मैंने किया ही। मैं बोला कि अगर झाड़ लगाएगा तो झाड़ जो है वो 3 या 5 साल में आपको क्रॉप देगा। अभी झाड़ आम का झाड़ लगाएगा,
एक्चुअली ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग यदि स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ
हाँ तो
मतलब इकोनॉमिकली मुझे प्रॉफिट हो, इसके लिए मुझे थोड़ा वेट करना पड़ेगा।
नहीं, वो ये मिथ है लोगों का। वो हमेशा बोलते हैं कि तो आपको 3 साल रुकना पड़ेगा, 5 साल रुकना पड़ेगा। बट इफ यू आर रेडी टू इन्वेस्ट प्रॉपरली देन इट कैन बी डन। कि जैसे ग्रीन मैन्यूरिंग है और साथ साथ इधर हमारा वी हैव लाइक टेंडम 3 वेयर वी आर मेकिंग बायोपेस्टिसाइड्स एंड बायोफर्टिलाइजर्स at the same time, like no whatever lendy khat that is there, that is goats and sheeps, that combination plus other combinations. So if you make all those things, you will be able to get your land recovered within like no 1 year or couple of years time. So it's not you have to wait all this. You have to just make you have to just meet a person like no who will do it nicely, because there was Narayan Reddy. He got a doctorate. He was near Bangalore, and he also visited over here, and I spent a lot of time with him understanding. Now, 1961 India, the carbon content in the soil was 3. Now it's 0.3%. And his land, he said, even if you go 1 meter deep and take a sample from that, his soil carbon is 4.5. And then he had he was a simple laborer in the agriculture field, but did organic farming on money. Every day he would work in the field, and he had a land. He told me if he sells his land, which is close to Bangalore city, he will get 150 crores. And still he would daily work in the farm. And then he said, I am 75 years old. I can take 50 kg of gunny bag and can walk 4 kilometers minimum. So this was his like health was there. So he also said like there are plenty of ways that are available. You can recover your land much less time.
मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि फार्मर्स को कन्विंस कैसे किया जाए स्टार्टिंग में।
फार्मर्स को दैट इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन। हाउ डू यू कन्विंस फार्मर्स को, कैसे कन्विंस किया जाए? अभी ऐसा है कि हम लोग यहाँ हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट पे लाते हैं तो फार्मर्स को क्या लगता है, कह रहे आपके पास तो है पैसा है आप करा लेंगे, मगर वैसे नहीं। तो हम क्या करते हैं कि सक्सेसफुल फार्मर्स के पास लेके जाते हैं एक्सपोजर विजिट के लिए। तो वो देखता है कि ये फार्मर के पास भी फैमिली में 5 मेंबर है, मेरे फार्म में 5 मेंबर है, इसके पास भी 2.5 एकड़ है, मेरे पास भी 2.5 एकड़ है, इसका भी जमीन ऐसा है, मेरा भी जमीन ऐसा है, इसके पास भी इतना ही पानी है, मेरे पास भी उतना ही पानी है। अगर ये डेवलप कर पाया है तो मैं भी कर पाऊंगा। सो ये फार्मर्स टू फार्मर्स जो इंफॉर्मेशन है ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होते हैं। तो सब मेरे भी कैसे सीखा, तो मैं ऐसे ही सक्सेसफुल फार्मर्स के पास जाकर उनसे ही सब सीख लिए। तो फार्मर्स को कन्विंस करने का ये एक ही तरीका है कि जब भी वो खुद जाके स्टडी करेगा फिर वो बहुत साल सोचेगा ये कैसा है वो कैसा है, और उसी का जैसा फार्मर है उसको कन्विंस कर सकता है क्या है। और फिर वो देखता है कि उसके घर के बाहर एक 2 व्हीलर है या 4 व्हीलर है, तो दैट बिकम्स इम्पेटस फॉर हिम लाइक तो मैं भी ये कर सकता हूँ।
So,
I just wanted to comment कि दादाजी लोग जब उन लोग का जनरेशन था तो वो लोग खेतों में जो गाय भैंस पालते थे वो लोग गर्मी के टाइम जाके वहाँ पे रखते थे पूरा खेत में। जब खेत खाली होता था ले जाके पूरा 1-2 महीने रखते थे। और बहुत सारे लोग तो देर होता था ये सब चीजें पहले टाइम में करते थे। We are returning to that.
हाँ, तो वही है मिमिक द नेचर। और उसमें कैसे था कि वो जो पद्धति थी उसको और संशोधन करना चाहिए कि जैसे हम लोग अच्छा गुड प्रैक्टिसेस प्रिजर्व कर सके, उसमें थोड़ा साइंस लाकर उसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट हमको करना चाहिए। क्योंकि आप देखिए तो अभी बहुत सारा एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटीज है और वो जो सीड्स लेते हैं उसको पानी की जरूरत ज्यादा लगती है, उसको केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स भी लगता है, पेस्टिसाइड भी लगता है। तो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ किसान के काम का वो संशोधन नहीं रह सकता। केवल थोड़े जो किसान हैं जो ये सब 3 चीज अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं उनके ही फायदे का वो रहता है। तो एक्चुअली एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटीज इस प्रकार से संशोधन करना चाहिए कि मेरा टारगेट ऑडियंस क्या है, कि मेरे देश में इतने किसान है, उनकी स्थिति क्या है और वो क्या अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं। और उसमें अगर मैं रेसिडुअल मॉइस्चर के ऊपर कौन से वैरायटीज आ सकते हो, तो एक्चुअली तो नेचर ने करके रखा है, उसमें ही कैसे सिल्ट प्योरिटी बढ़ाए, उसका कैसे कंजर्वेशन किया जाए। अगर इसमें संशोधन होगा तो फिर किसान के वो ज्यादा फायदे करेगा। अभी क्या आता है कि जो रिच लैंडलॉर्ड्स है, जिसके पास पैसे है, वही इस संशोधन का फायदा ले सकते हैं।
अभी कुछ महीने पहले IIT में टॉक था एक मिलेट्स को लेके, तो एक शेकरू फाउंडेशन है वो मतलब इस पे काम कर रहा है। तो उन्होंने बताया था कि हमने फार्मर्स को बोला कि आप ये मिलेट्स उगाइए, तो वो बोल रहे हो कि बहुत मुश्किल है, वो मानते नहीं है। वो बोलते हैं कि अगर मैं चावल या गेहूँ उगा रहा हूँ तो मेरा मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जांपल अगर 1 एकड़ से 10 टन आ रहा है, तो मिलेट में उगाऊंगा तो 1-2 टन भी नहीं आएगा मेरा। तो मना कर देते हैं, बोल देते हैं मतलब बहुत मुश्किल है मनाना फार्मर्स को कि मतलब मिलेट्स उगाने के लिए। वो जैसे थोड़ा मोटिवेट करने जाते हैं तो बोले बहुत ही कम ऐसे होते हैं जो मानते नहीं, तो नहीं मानते क्योंकि प्रोडक्टिविटी का जो मतलब जो आउटपुट है वो बहुत कम है।
आउटपुट कम है मगर इनपुट भी कुछ डालना नहीं पड़ता है ना।
पर सर उनका प्रॉफिट नहीं होता ना फिर कुछ भी।
तो इसलिए क्या कि इसको एग्रीकल्चर बोला है, एग्री बिजनेस नहीं है ना।
Actually, farming and agriculture are 2 different things.
हाँ, इसमें कैसा है कि मिलेट्स अपने आप जो है ना वो हिली रीजन्स में, और मिलेट्स कल्टीवेटर्स आपको देखेंगे कि बहुत सारे ट्राइबल्स ही है। आज के डेट पे अगर किसी ने सीड कंजर्वेशन किया है तो ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन ने, उन्होंने सारे सब्जी के बीज, सारे चावल के बीज, सारे मिलेट्स के बीज बचा के रखे, क्योंकि वो तो खरीद नहीं सकते सीड्स, न तो पेस्टिसाइड्स खरीद सकते, न तो फर्टिलाइजर्स खरीद सकते। तो उनका जो परंपरागत खेती था वो चलते आ रहा है। तो इसलिए ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। अभी कैसा है, तो हम लोग क्या करते कि जो मिलेट्स फार्मर है उनको बताते हैं कि कैसे अच्छी तरह से मिलेट्स उगाएं। फिर जैसे अभी वरी राइस है जिसको सांबा बोलते हैं, उसके 20-22 वैरायटीज है। तो उसमें से कौन से वैरायटी में क्या क्या न्यूट्रिशंस है, और फिर उसके रेडी मिक्स कैसे बनाए जाए और उसको बहुत अच्छी तरह से टेस्टी कैसे बनाया जाए। जैसे मैं एक उदाहरण देता हूँ कि जैसे सांबा राइस जो है आज जो मार्केट में उपलब्ध है वो पूरा व्हाइट होता है, पूरा पॉलिश होता है। और हमारे आश्रम में भी सांबा राइस है तो कोई बकेट के पास ही नहीं जाता है खाने के लिए, तो भूखे रहेंगे मगर नहीं खाएंगे। ऐसा है। मैं सांबा राइस अगर थोड़ा लेस पॉलिश का है और आपको इस बनाने का जैसे पुलाव बनाते हैं ऐसे अगर आप बनाते हैं तो वही जो वरी राइस है वो आप अच्छी तरह से खा सकते हैं। तो इस एजुकेशन की जरूरत है। जैसे हमने अभी पूना मिलेट फेस्टिवल में सांबा का ही चावल के जगह मिलेट का पुलाव था, मगर वो इतना टेस्टी था, एक भी आदमी ऐसा बोला नहीं कि ये खा नहीं सकता। जितने लोगों को पूछा सब लोगों ने खाया। मैं भी खुद कभी सेकंड सर्विंग नहीं लेता, मैंने ले लिया क्योंकि इतना टेस्टी था। तो फर्स्ट क्या है कि फर्स्ट सिटी में लोगों की जैसी टेस्ट है वैसी कुकिंग की रेसिपीज करनी पड़ेगी, और जैसे सिटी में डिमांड बढ़ता जाएगा तो अपने आप ये लोग लगाएंगे। जैसे मल्टीनेशनल अपने बिग शॉपिंग मॉल्स रहते हैं, आप अगर 20-25 साल देखे तो उधर कुछ ऑर्गेनिक सेक्शन नहीं था, मगर अभी आप देखें तो बड़े बड़े मॉल्स में भी ऑर्गेनिक सेक्शन है, क्योंकि उसका डिमांड बढ़ गया तो उन लोगों ने जगह कर दी। तो इस प्रकार से हमको सिटी में फर्स्ट अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना है और मिलेट्स के अलग अलग वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स बनाना है। और जब भी वो किसान को समझेगा कि ये इसमें पैसे मिलता है तो आप बिना बोले वो करा देंगे। आज क्या है, आप उसके पीछे जा रहे हैं, मगर आपको पूरा ये चेन का बनाना पड़ेगा। सो दैट इज लाइक फ्रॉम सीड टू टेबल, ये चेंज आपको देखना पड़ेगा। तो हो सकता है।
Why are we focusing so much on millet?
फोकसिंग टू मच ऑन मिलेट्स इज फर्स्ट इज क्या है कि मिलेट्स इट्स अ कॉल्ड सुपर फूड और हेल्दी फूड। और मिलेट्स का कैसा है कि वो विदाउट एनी फर्टिलाइजर्स और विदाउट एनी पेस्टिसाइड्स आसानी से आ सकते हैं और हाईली न्यूट्रिशियस है। तो उसमें कैसा है कि एक इकोलॉजी को फायदा है, उसका फार्मर्स को भी फायदा है, और फार्मर्स एज वेल एज सिटी के लोगों का हेल्थ को भी फायदा है। तो इसलिए मिलेट्स इज लाइक ना मच बेटर। कि जैसे अगर आपको डायबिटीज है तो डायबिटीज इज साइलेंट किलर, और एक बार हो गया तो उसको ठीक करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है। तो उस समय अगर हमने देखा कि कई हमारे आश्रम में भी है कई लोग डायबिटिक, तो वो अगर इस मिलेट डाइट पे जब से आए तो उनका ब्लड शुगर है बहुत अच्छी तरह से कंट्रोल हो पाया। तो इस प्रकार से देयर आर ट्रेमेंडस बेनिफिट्स दैट आर अवेलेबल देयर। सो अभी हमने ये बताया कि जैसे अभी आप देखते कि ये जो कोरोना है, तो कोरोना आया तो हाउ इंडिया फेस द कोरोना एंड वेस्ट में कैसे हुआ। तो उन्होंने देखा कि वेस्ट में बहुत सारा मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज है, उनका पॉपुलेशन कम है। उन्होंने देखा कि इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा है, मेडिकल फैसिलिटी कम है, मगर इंडिया के लोग अच्छी तरह से उसमें से बाहर आ गए। क्यों बाहर आ गए? क्योंकि बिकॉज ऑफ ये आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन, फॉरेस्ट मेडिसिन उनके पास थे, और उस कारण वो उसमें से बाहर आ पाए।
किचन में है, रसोई घर में।
हाँ, रसोई घर में वो है कि जैसे हमने अभी जैसे कोरोना मेडिसिन है तो जिंक टैबलेट सबको दिया होगा, आपको याद होगा कि वो बाकी मेडिसिन जिंक कोविड खाने को दिया। हाँ, तो टैबलेट खाना है या वो पर्टिकुलर मिलेट में वो जिंक मिलता है वो खाना है, तो चॉइस आपका है, इन दो में से आपको क्या चाहिए। तो अगर आप मिलेट खाना पसंद करते हैं तो फार्मर्स का बेनिफिट ज्यादा हो सकता है। तो ये ऐसा हो गया। फिर यहाँ पर जो जवाहर मोकाड़ा के कई फार्मर्स को हमने पूछा कि आपको कोविड हो गया था क्या, तो वो बोला हाँ शायद हो गया होगा। तो हमने पूछा आपका ये सिम्टम्स, तो हमने पूछा ये सिम्टम्स है क्या, तो बोला हाँ ये सिम्टम्स थे, उसका मतलब कोविड हो गया होगा। तो उसमें से जो वेल्दी फार्मर्स थे वो सिटी में जाके वो गवर्नमेंट पीएससी में जाके मेडिसिन लेके आए, और कई लोग उधर तक जा नहीं पाए, तो कैसे सर्वाइव हुए। तो उन्होंने बोला कि जो यहाँ पर सोरगम जो ज्वार आती है, एक्चुअली ज्वार का नाम ज्वारी से आया है, और हेवी रेनफॉल एरिया में भी ये ज्वार आती है। यूजुअली ज्वार जो है विंटर सीजन में आती है, बाकी जगह पर इस सीजन में हेवी रेनफॉल में भी वो बहुत अच्छी तरह से आती है। और उन्होंने बताया कि वो ज्वार उसका उन्होंने आटा बनाया, उसमें थोड़ा बटर मिल्क डाला और वो खा लिया, उससे वो रिकवर हो पाए। और वही जो है 1972 में, anybody was there 1972? I was there. I was 6 years old, and I still remember seeing in the newspaper on the front pages, Maharashtra had a historic drought. Like, it comes kind of in centuries. That kind of severe, very severe category of drought was there. So this people told us, like, there was nothing, not much food was available. So these people in Jawar region and all that, all these tribal people, they had this so jawar sorghum with them. So they made atta, and then they ate that sorghum. Like no, just they had per family 1 or 2 balls was available, and they just like added some buttermilk in that, and that porridge they took it. It is famously called as amla, and they survived. And what happens is like that porridge is such like after eating that, even in summer season, if you work in sun, you don't become that thirsty. So these are like plenty of benefits available. So that's why like we should go into this millets.
So, Ji, especially in India, we have had a completely different set of vegetables. But what has been the effect of the so-called English vegetables on the Indian farming and Indian central plains?
You previously say when these vegetables were not there, there were, in the villages there was no need of like nursing homes and hospitals. Now it has increased. Now you ask any grandfather that generation, hardly at a taluka place there were some hospitals. But now mostly like there's certain kind of like gastric troubles, sometimes indigestions, diabetes, and many this kinds of things have come up.
Effects on the land, the agriculture, those practices.
Land and agriculture, but the most important is the health. Health of the people have suffered a lot.
So, what is the success rate of your project? Like 1,000 people you have, farmers, and are they continuing, or what is the current situation?
Yeah, they are continuing because see most of the people. See, I have some friends like who do modern kind of agriculture and develop agriculture, we can say. And just like day before yesterday, I met one industrialist, and he purchased 1 kg of bhendi from us. मतलब he was in hurry, but he said like ना वो बोला मेरे को एक चाहिए. तो मैंने पूछा क्या, बोला 3 साल खाए नहीं भिंडी हम लोग. क्यों नहीं खाया? Because he says I have a friend who is a progressive farmer, and then he took me one day to his farm and he showed me like what are the pesticides he sprays on the भिंडी. बोला इसके बाद भिंडी खाना बंद कर. तो 3 साल में खाया नहीं, मगर आपका इधर मालूम है कि इसका तो वो नहीं होगा, तो इसलिए वाइफ ने फोन करके बताया मेरे को कि आते समय पक्का ये लेके आओ. So this is like first is awareness with the city people, and then the farmers will definitely grow it. And there is like there was like one brahmachari, he was with in our ashram in 1993. We were together. Later he became grahastha. Stays around Baramati, and one day he came to take me to his farm. So I sat in his car, a small Maruti car. His dicky was filled with boxes. The back seat was filled with boxes. I sat on the front seat. On front seat, like below also there were boxes. So then he said, "What is this?" तो बोला ये पेस्टिसाइड्स है. तो क्या उगाते हैं? तो मक्स मेलन होता है ना, आता है मक्स मेलन, वो उगाते हो. मतलब आप बच्चे को देते हैं आपके, मतलब उसमें से एक मेरा बच्चा खाता नहीं. उसको वह बाहर से खरीद के फ्रूट का आता हूँ, बेच के पैसा कमाते हैं. तो ऐसा भिंडी का जो है, जो फार्मर है, वो खुद कभी भिंडी नहीं खाता, क्योंकि मालूम है उसने क्या स्प्रे किया. आपको नहीं है, आपने देखा नहीं है, तो आप खा रहे आराम से.
Similarly, it's like Punjab farmers. They spray बहुत सारा ये सब डालते हैं, उसके बाद वो अपना चावल नहीं खाते हैं, वो अपना बेचेंगे और खरीदेंगे.
गेहूं जो है, और राजस्थान से गेहूं जाता है पंजाब में, वो खाते हैं, और हम लोग को पंजाब का वो खाते, ऐसा हो जाता है. वो भी एक भी है, वो ग्रेप्स में भी काफी ये है. राजस्थान से वो बटिंडा, मुझे वो ये भी है कि जहाँ सबसे ज्यादा प्रोग्रेसिव फार्मर्स है वहाँ कैंसर रेट ज्यादा है. जैसे महाराष्ट्र में कोल्हापुर में शिरोल करके एक तालुका है, वहाँ प्रोग्रेसिव फार्मर्स है और वेजिटेबल कल्टीवेशन के लिए फेमस है, और मैक्सिमम कैंसर पेशेंट्स उस विलेज में है. जैसे केरला में भी कासारगोड की उस फिर वहां पर एंडोसल्फान का ही है. सो देयर आर प्लेंटी ऑफ स्टडीज अवेलेबल व्हिच यू कैन सी इन द नेट्स. वो तो उन्होंने हेलीकॉप्टर से स्प्रे किया था ये पेस्टिसाइड्स. And all the next generation is coming a deformed population is coming. Yes.
मुझे अगर हमें अभी इस समय मतलब जस्ट अभी अगर जो जैसे हम मुंबई में रह रहे हो किसी को अपना डाइट चेंज करना है पूरी तरीके से, तो इस समय क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल है?
इससे कैसा है कि यू हैव टू फर्स्ट बिकम अवेयर कि मेरे को ये क्यों करना है. क्योंकि कैसा है कि ऐसा नहीं कि मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये बोल रहा है किधर इधर देखा नहीं. योर कन्विक्शन शुड बी देयर दैट व्हाट आई वांट टू ईट, व्हाट शुड आई कंज्यूम, एंड आई वांट टू कंज्यूम दिस थिंग बिकॉज आई एम गेटिंग दिस काइंड्स ऑफ बेनिफिट्स. एंड देन यू विल ऑलवेज फाइंड अ वे. बिकॉज आजकल का जो कुरियर का जमाना है तो आप कहीं भी कुरियर भी कुछ भी मंगा सकते हैं. सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू बी कन्विंस्ड that why I should make this choice, and if you are convinced then the rest of things can happen.
जैसे मिल्क के लिए जैसे हरी बोल मिल्क है मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए, उसी प्रकार सब्जियों के लिए भी है क्या अभी इस समय कुछ?
Yeah, you will definitely find there are so many options that are available, but you do research. It's not like blindly believe on that and go accordingly. ये मेरा टाइम तो 1 घंटे के ऊपर हो गया.
Can I just speak some?
Thank you very much, Sanat Kumar.
Far to the market. So there are some school of thought. अरे मार्केट में 10 रुपए में 2 रुपए में कैबेज मिलता है. Practically can you grow it in 2 rupees per person? So we are telling it, okay, this is a fixed price. 35, whatever market fluctuation is, we will buy it from this price from you. So that assurity Prabhuji was given. And his team has given that assurity, so they are ready to come forward and do that. So we need to give them the assurity, then it will grow.
So I'm asking about excess amount after consuming and sending to the rest of the. So the excessive amount which is sell outside in the market.
Yeah, so right now whatever come out 7.5 as the harvesting, we are able to manage it. But in the future, if there is a demand, as you told about the millet.
Yeah, so
if there is a demand, if the demand is there, somebody has to take an assurity. Then they will organize in the ground level that we can production.
We can actually connect network to create because there are people who sell different kind of vegetables. So we can connect a group of organic vegetables.
Eventually, what we want to do is like we make the baskets. And then city people will get in their home. They will just book this thing like in a week I will need this much, and we will do home delivery. But that is at the next stage. First is like we want the farmers also to get a confidence. Now farmers are getting confidence like one farmer like he always like generations they grow vegetables. So we told him like you keep 1 acre of land for purely for organic. So his other acre is inorganic. Now he planted tomatoes, and then we gave him organic medicines, pesticides to him. He can get experience like a certain pest which he could not control by inorganic, but with our method it's properly controlled. So this is the way like farmers get the confidence, and then they also then spread the word that one farmer is enough to like spread word in the whole village, saying like this works. So this experience farmer should get like on this like the same close by like the same farmer, same land, same water. Here is organic, here is inorganic. And inorganic is not able to control the pest, where here is pest is controlled. So this is what he will get. So at present we are just putting up, selling it to the stalls at one place. But eventually we want it to go into like to the city customers, but then they should like buy in a certain quantity. Then we'll be able to do it.
So 7 ton in months or
1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
7.5.
इतना जो consume किया जाता है
That is also we have just 25 farmers at present with us, like who are into contract farming vegetables. Like farmer have tremendous capacity to grow. Only thing is like there was one person in one of organic farmers association group. There was one person, one NGO who did a survey. Like in a contract farming, there's a farmer side and a city farmer. Who keeps commitments? The farmers keep commitment. City people don't keep commitments. That was their study. Yeah, as the price fluctuates, the city people back out. There is a farmers are ready to do it.
Yeah, actually, people in
that
name
is
of
their-
organic, the current city people are very conscious and they purchase it.
बोलते हो यार, but you have to materialize it. His point is, people see and then they forget. Sometimes they forget also.
Yeah, first is like says you have to make a awareness program. So we are making certain presentations. I have a few presentations with me also, where we want to make more proper presentations with like doctors who explain properly what happens. It's a green revolution. Green revolution basically people started putting urea more. So urea you put it, then what happens is the vegetative growth is more. So the sucking pest has increased tremendously. So then for sucking pest, these are the medicines used. And because of this medicine, these kinds of diseases have come. So this is how when you prove, because modern person like wants all evidence and all study reports. So when you present like this, that this is how the change has increased. But previously, before 1960, the sucking pest destruction was this much. How suddenly it has gone up is mainly the urea consumption has gone up, and then this particular disease have increased, and that's why this chemical pesticides are sold more, and then the studies explain like because of this what are the different diseases come. Then people will understand. Yes, I need to buy it. So some of you can make help in that creating awareness of these things. Not like sentimental awareness, but it's like proper awareness where proper this thing presentations are made with the proper qualified doctors with the proper studies. Once you are aware and convinced, then you will make a proper decision. Otherwise, one day you will buy, another day you will say, why buy it so costly? Let's buy.
Another thing we had tried before COVID. After COVID, we could not resume. I could not resume. In IIT campus, Sundays we used to have this farmers market. That was very successful. In fact, Prabhuji sent so many of the farmer groups there. They would literally cook many of these roots in front of a big audience. You know the staff club. They used to come there and they would cook some of the roots there. So different organic farmers would come and sell every Sunday, and that was a connection platform. So you have started this in a couple of other places, huh?
You can resume it.
We can resume it. So I think more student initiative will also help here. Otherwise, it was becoming very faculty driven. Students also demand it will be very nice. I know, because hostels could be huge consumer, right? If student bodies say that no, a girls' hostel would be the best because girls are very health conscious. One girls' hostel says fruits organic, bus. It create a big demand for the farmers. Literally, I mean it. I'm not just joking, right? So think strategically a little bit how you could, because faculty 50, 120, 130 would come, but student would just be a big consumer set, right?
So, is it only vegetable or fruits are also there?
Right now we are concentrating on the vegetables because you daily
Can I
eat
one more
in a
visit?
large quantity.
We can have one more visit planned, so we can take you to the farmers and we can see.
Yeah,
Further.
I would like to.
Actually, in fact, Prabhu organizes what is called Vana Bhaji Utsav, right?
Wild forest.
Yeah, wild forest vegetables that happens in the monsoon season. So in this area, a lot of forest vegetables comes up. That only, and very nutritional. That only these tribal people knows it. So twice in a year he organizes it. So and I'm very fond of it because going in wide variety of items and very nutritious and tasty also. So there are so many things we can do it.
So, how many type of vegetables?
See, these are details. I'm saying in principle, like in the beginning. So once somewhere I saw in a T-shirt and a tagline that you can take my advice because anyway I don't use it. That is most of the time happens. People have ideas, suggestions, and so many things. Inclusivity are there. But if you remember what I told, what is the purpose of Govardhan village? You cannot do all these things by your speaking or do only by propagandas. We need actual ground level models, role models. So this is one of the places where we try to do the role modeling that people can come and experience it. So speaking, anybody can do it. But once you come and do that, you are not sitting in a shaded area. You go out for half an hour, you can see what is the troubles you. The farmers have to do that. So when you face it, then naturally what Guru is telling, that you feel grateful. And yes, today morning I got I think I should probably share one video. In the afternoon I will be meeting him for the Ayurveda. He's a MD skin specialist. He's telling the video says that now around 50,000 crores rupees worth food is wasted in India annually. And in another speech, Dhyam Swami was giving example from statistics from the US that 1/3 of the US food generation never meet any table or anybody's mouth. It is gone at the drain, which itself consumes around 4 trillion tons of waters. So we need to be aware of these statistics are there, but what we are doing? So we need to also take a step forward to actually practice it in our life. So that will be very helpful for others also get inspired.
And some of these can take a lot of perseverance. You'll see the soil biotechnology was initially developed by Dr. Vipul Patnaik. Now, he had to go through a lot of struggle. Right? He is running a business now. He's trying to set this up in many other places so that it's replicable and he can sustain himself. But you'll have to have that passion and invest energy because this is like sowing to protect. These are all seed protection. Soil biotechnology is also seed protection, right? You protect the seed of this thought process. So you need to commit, invest time, but the bountiful rewards, because the reward is basically in giving we receive. That is the real reward, as Sanat Kumar was beautifully saying. Yeah.